So, alright, anyway, hello everybody, welcome to this stream of Lone Wolf. It is time to read some more, but this time we're going to read
Castle Dead.
So yeah, first of all, the story so far. There's some repeat with the other text, but hey, I figured there were some elements that were not quite explained well the other time, so let's take it again from the top. So yeah, you are the warrior, Lone Wolf, last of the Kai Masters of Summerland and sole survivor of the massacre that destroyed your kinsmen during a bitter war with your age-old enemies, the Dark Lords of Helgedan. Many centuries have passed since you got a donation. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness, that's it. I feel like I need to have like a black screen over that so that we can read this. Oh, you're a dad of 7 weeks ago. Good job. Hell yeah. So yeah, where was I again? Oh my goodness. So yeah, many centuries have passed since Sun Eagle, the first of your kind, established the Order of the Kai. Also, thank you, he's an evil genius for the 1 bit. Thank you very much. Aided by the magicians of Dessi, he completed a peerless quest to find 7 crystals of power known as the Lorestones of Nixator. With their discovery, he unlocked a wisdom and strength that lay within both the Lorestones and himself. He recorded the nature of his discoveries and his experiences in a great tome called the Book of the Magnakai. You've discovered this lost Kai treasure and have given a solemn pledge to restore the Kai to their former glory, ensuring the security of your land in the years to come. However, your diligent study of this ancient book has enabled you to master only 3. Nope, that's a lie. We got 4 of them. That will only be true if that was our first master book, but that's not. But yeah, to fulfill your pledge, you must complete the quest first undertaken by Sun Eagle over 1,000 years ago. By doing so successfully, you too will acquire the power and wisdom of the Magnakai that is held within the Lorestone crystal form. Much of Sun Eagle's script has faded with the passing years, and little remained to help you find the 7 Lorestones of Nixator. Guided by a few words that could still be deciphered, you set out upon a journey that took you to the war-torn city of Tekeru in the hostile land of Slovia. There, hidden deep in the crypt of the city's cathedral, you found the first Lorestone of Vereda. As you held the crystal triumphantly in your hand, its power was transfused into your being, and the location of the second stone formed slowly in your mind. Erdos. The remote township of Erdos stands upon the shore of Lake Kor, high in the Xulun mountains of Dessi. Here, the Elder Magi, the magicians who rule the land, helped Sun Eagle on his quest long ago. Time has turned full circle, and once more their aid is sought by a warrior of the Kai. Fate has brought you to us, Lone Wolf, intones Rimor, speaker for the High Council of the Elder Magi, as you stand before them in the Tower of Truth at Helzian. And our fate is bound to your quest. His clear voice fills the great cylindrical council chamber, and the white-robed elders gathered around you respond with one voice. It is so! Grimoire leads you to a circular dais, set like a deep well into the green marble floor. Carefully, he kneels and touches its liquid metal surface with his gloved hand. A current flows through the shimmering metal, and within its mirror-like depth, a strange vision slowly takes shape. You see a black-walled fortress set upon a rocky isle, its deep purple shadows reflecting in the dark waters of a moonlit lake. You see before you Kazan-Oud. The Lorestone of Erdos rests in this castle, deep within its accursed hall. We will take you to this fortress, Lone Wolf, but you must enter alone, for her powers hold no sway over the forces that command this terrible place. In the years that have passed since Sun Eagle first came to this land, a great evil has consumed Kazan-Oud. We lack the means to destroy this evil, but we have labored to contain it, to prevent it from spreading beyond the Isle of Kor. Some of the bravest warriors of Magnamond have tried at our behest to defeat the power of Kazan-Oud, yet all have perished. But fate now brings us a Kai Master, and our hearts rejoice. For the success of your quest will defeat the bane of Kazan-Oud and deliver all from its evil shadow. A ripple of hopeful whispers arises from the circle of elders when they hear you state that you will go to Kazan-Oud. As they accompany you from the council chamber to equip you for the dangerous mission that lies ahead, you ask the meaning of the words Kazan-Oud. An uneasy silence descends on the dignified company and all eyes turn to Rimoa. In the language of the Sumlending, he says, his voice wavering,
Castle dead.
We're going full circle indeed. Oh yeah, just to have a look at our character right now, we've got 4 disciplines. We've got divination, which unfortunately did not see much use. But hey, there's plenty of time for things to change. Curing has been used a bunch in the last book, so good on us. Psy-Screen sadly saw no use whatsoever, but again, there's plenty of time for that to change. And our newly acquired skill Petmanship, where we're gonna be allowed to know where we're going. Into a place like this, it's probably gonna be helpful, so...
What a scene!
I'm sorry, we will totally kick Gilgamesh's ass, but thank you for the donation. So alright, let's get equipped. Before leaving Elzian on your quest for the Lorestone of Erdos, the Elder Magi give you a map of their land. Spoiler, this is not gonna be of any use whatsoever. As far as I can tell, I'm not even sure that Kazan-Oud is on this map, so yeah, at this point, who knows what we're doing with that. At that point, I'll guess we're here, but where the heck is Kazan-Oud on there? Oh, never mind, it's there. Okay. I never knew it was in the freaking middle of the butt end of nowhere, my god. Okay, I don't know, I always had that picture of Kazan-Oud just being a fortress in the ocean and everything. It just shows how little I paid attention as a kid, my god. Alright, and a pouch of gold. Alright, gold is certainly gonna be helpful on Kazan-Oud, but hey, we need money at that point, so I figure we don't have any means to talk trash. Alright, how much money do we get? 18! I just imagine that this 18 gold is just what we're being paid in order to do this. So yeah, if you've successfully completed this adventure, So alright, we can take 5 of the following items. So, a sword, oh, that's right, we have a warhammer. We got a bow, quiver with 6 arrows, a rope, potion of loam spur, a lantern, a mace, 3 meals, dagger, and 3 fire seeds. Here's something new. When thrown against a hard surface, these fire seeds explode and burst fiercely. So hey, we got something new indeed. So first of all, I'd say for sure let's take the quiver in order to restock on our arrows, and I guess I'll let you decide on what else that we're going to pick. At that point, I pretty much will say let's pick a potion. And okay, what's our meal situation? We got 2 of them. I'd say we're okay. So now the question is, do we also bring fire seeds along for the ride? I mean, the lantern is completely unnecessary because we do have the fire sphere from Calt, which acts as a source of light, and we can totally use it into said situations. But the fire seeds, we're definitely gonna take them. So, alright. 3 fire seeds. I guess we're also gonna take the potion of Loam Spur. Potion for EP. I guess that sets us to 3 items. Is there anything else we will want to get as well? I mean, we already have a rope, so I'd say we're covered until that... Yep, we're continuing the adventures. We haven't started yet. We're just gathering our supplies. Alright, for the final item, let's just bring your meal. Why not? And I'd say let's discard the map of Tekaro. I doubt we're gonna need this ever again. I'd say might as well just bring another meal, why not? Like at that point we're loaded with potions, meals, and drugs. Hell yeah. Now at that point, do we need all of this? Okay, we don't need the ticket for sure. So at that point the question is, do we keep the brass whistle and the bluestone triangle? I mean, I don't know. At that point I'd say I'll give you the time to debate on that. We can throw them off anytime we want, or we can put them into safekeeping, because that's totally a thing that we can do. We're definitely going to be back to our Kai Monastery, so we can actually leave items home. So yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah. Brass whistle and the bluestone triangle, we're just gonna leave home. At that point, yeah, I'm gonna mix a table just for that. Okay, this is not lore circles, however. Okay, now time to yeah. Time to actually just do all of the stuff that normally I do off camera. So, alright. Point, yeah. Two, triangle. Wait, did that? Ah, okay, never mind that. I was wondering, wait, where did that even come from? And brass whistle. Because I'm not sure we're gonna need that per se, but. Ah. Format this properly. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we gotta have stuff in order to have our stuff. Alright, either way, I think we're finally ready to go, so yep, let's go. Okay, I don't think we need to read that. Or do we? Nah, let's just actually commence. The hours leading up to your departure from Elzian are spent checking and double-checking your equipment and provisions. But no matter how hard you try to concentrate on these preparations, your mind is constantly invaded by the shadowy image of Kazan-Oud, an image identical to the vision that appeared the previous evening in the well of the council chamber. You are filled with a deep dread as you contemplate the probable sight of your own grave. However, coupled to this terrible sense of foreboding is a far... okay, this is not fitting music. I like this song, but... Sorry, Hot Dad. However, coupled to this terrible sense of foreboding is a far greater and irresistible desire to discover the Lorestone of Erdos. Shortly before dawn, your thoughts are disturbed by a knock at the door of your chamber. It is Grimoire. The time has come for your mission to begin. Follow him through halls and galleries to a rooftop platform nestling across the crimson tower of the Temple of Truth. Here you are greeted by a young man. He's tall and dark-skinned, with plaited flaxen hair and sharp, cat-like eyes, and he wears the gold and scarlet tunic of a vaqueros, a warrior magician of Dessi. "Hail, Paido," says Grimoire, bowing to this proud young man. "Hail, my lord Grimoire," he replies respectfully. "We are ready to sail." I'm not sure if I will do that. If anything, I've never done them. I'm not sure of the extent of how good it could go, but I guess at the very least I could give it a look, just to know. The first rays of the dawnlight shimmer along the golden hull of a magnificent skyship that hovers above the rooftop platform. As the hum of its powerful engine rises, you thank Grimoire and bid him farewell before following Lord Paido to the boarding ladder at the edge of the platform. Once safely on board, the skyship rises into the chill dawn air, and Lord Grimoire and the Tower of Truth shrink swiftly beneath its golden keel. You look down with growing fascination as the sleek Batwing craft passes over the circling waters of the Elzian Canal and speeds downward above the jungle of central Dessi. Oh, they're pretty damn cheesy. Oh boy, alright. As the great chasm of Gorgoron looms into view, splitting the emerald green land like a deep and terrible wound, Lord Paido joins you at the rail. Time passes in conversation, and you learn much about the people of this untamed land and their history. You learn that the Elder Magi are all that remain of a race of great magicians who ruled central Magnamon many thousands of years ago. They were wise and powerful, and their leadership was great until their numbers were decimated by a plague that swept across the world. Those who survived sought refuge in Dessi and have lived here in the mountains and the jungle ever since. The Vaqueros are native soldiers of Dessi who have been taught the heart of battle magic by the Elder Magi to help them defend the northern border against invasion by the warlike Vasagonian. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. That book was like written in 1986. When you tell Lord Paido of your own past battles with the Desert Warrior, you sense a sadness within him. How I wish my brother Kazan were here with us now, he says, staring thoughtfully toward the distant horizon. He could tell many a brave tale of the great desert wars. You ask what have become of his brother. There's a long pause before you reply solemnly, Kazan-Oud. The land of Dessi is now spread out beneath you like a gigantic map. To the northwest, you can see the foothills of the Carcos Range and a faint ribbon-like glimmer that is the River Doi. To the east, a bank of gray storm clouds advances unchecked across a sea of jungle vegetation. Shortly before noon, you sight your destination. The low domed buildings of Herados appear in the horizon, followed by the waters of Lake Kor and the blackened finger of rock upon which sits Kazan-Oud. Even at this great distance, the awesome sight of the terrible fortress sends a chill along your spine. Lord Paido orders his crew to prepare for landing, and within the hour, the great skyship is casting its shadow upon the flagstones of the Plaza of Erdos. You are welcomed by Lord Harden, Elder of Erdos, and a detachment of his Vaqueros guard. They escort you through the streets of the ancient town, past the tiny stone-wall dwelling of fishermen and miners, to a quay where a glass-domed tower, several stories high commands access to a busy harbor. As you enter the tower, you notice that the glass dome radiates a greenish light that, in spite of the blinding glare of the midday sun, can be seen quite clearly. Later, as the sun sinks slowly behind the peaks of the mountains, the light emanating from the tower becomes more visible, covering Lake Kor with an umbrella of ghostly luminescence. Lord Arden explains, this tower, together with 5 others that encircle the lake, generates a shield of magical energy that imprisons the evil of Kazan-Oud. No creature, living or dead, can enter or leave the Isle of Kor so long as our shield remain intact. We dare not lower our guard, and to allow you to land on the island, we have devised a means by which you may pass through the shield unharmed. He takes a gem the size of a small apple from the pocket of his silken robe and places it in your hand. It is a dull, translucent red, but within its core is a swirling mist of glittering sparks flickers with gold and silver fire. It is a power key. Guard it well, for so long as you possess it, you may fulfill your quest. Lose it, and you will never escape from the Isle of Kor. So, alright, we got a power key. At midnight, my Vaqueros will take you by boat to the edge of the shield. On board is a small coracle in which you can pass through the shield and make your way to the Isle of Kor. We shall pray for you, Lone Wolf. Midnight finds you standing on the deck of a square-rigged fishing boat. The sighing night wind and the creak of rope and timber are the only sounds that accompany you across the black waters of Lake Kor. You arrive at a wall of shimmering green light. The power shield. The Vaqueros whisper their goodbyes, and you paddle through the wall, drawing closer with every stroke to the sinister island fortress. 200 yards from the glistening black shoreline, you know 2 places where you can make a landing. Do we land at a stone jetty to the west of Kazan-Oud, or do we land at a sheltered bay to the east? It's time to choose. Alright, sheltered bay, east. Sheltered bay, jetty's too obvious. 4 votes for the sheltering bay. The sheltered bay, that's right. I'll wait and see if anyone dares to offer a counter offer and make us go west. Oh, thank you, Gnosis Duck, for the bit. Thank you very much. Yep, hopefully these lucky clovers are gonna help us all. Alright, let's go east. Vivid green flashes of forked lightnings and the rumble of distant thunder had menace to the towers and sheer stone walls of Kazan-Oud. Many of the roofs and turrets are in ruin. Their twisted beams and floor lie open to the sky, giving the fortress a burnt-out and deserted appearance. As you approach the tiny bay, which is tucked inside the shelter of a horseshoe reef of jagged black rocks, your eye is caught to the glow of tiny red lights moving in the shadows at the base of the fortress wall. You notice a dry hollow among a group of rocks close to the shore that offers a ideal hiding place for your little boat. Silently, you disembark and drag the coracle up the beach toward the rocks. Seconds later, you are halted dead in your tracks by the sound of muffled squealing. Sweat breaks out on your brow when a flash of lightning reveals scores of small red eyes close to the sand. A seething flood of rats, each as large as a puppy but gaunt and half-starved, is scurrying down the beach toward you like a torrent of black water. With pounding heart, you search for some means of escape from this ravenous horde of squealing, snapping rodents. So, do we climb over the rock and escape across a deserted beach? Do we drag our boat back in the lake and paddle away from the bay? Or do we just stand our ground and fight the onrushing flood of giant rats? I mean, the cheap deaths of the last book was like all of its charm. Okay, sorry, my bullshit coffer activated. But yeah, so far we have a vote for fighting. What else do people want to do? Alright, fight. Alright. Oh, back on the boat, the rats might steal it. Alright, 2 votes for fight, 1 vote for going back on the boat, and 1 vote for climbing the rocks. Let's see if there's any other dissenting opinions. So far, her move is fight, but anything could happen still. Oh, now I'm wondering how they'd steal the boat. I'll take that as a going back in the boat then. So, alright, 2 votes for fight and 2 votes for going back in the boat. Okay, alright, I say fight. Let's go, let's fight. Unsheathing your weapon, you dig your heels into the wet sand and face the seething tide of rats. The damp air is now filled with the choking stench of their bodies, and your stomach knots as they scuttle nearer and nearer. Alright, if we've completed the lower circle of light, we didn't. Add an additional 2 points of combat skill for this fight. So, alright. Flood of giant rat, 15 combat skill, 80 endurance. So, alright. They're not lacking in endurance, but they're also lacking in the skill department. Right now, yeah, we've got the highest combat ratio. I'm not even gonna bother checking out exactly what it's supposed to be. Alright, 3. We're dealing them 11 damage. They're dealing 2 damage to us. Like, at that point, it's just gonna be a giant war of attrition unless that we can get an insta-kill. For 12 damage to the rats, 2 damage to us. Okay, 16 damage to the rats and 1 damage to us. 16, that's 41. I mean, even with that... Okay, and there we go. An instant kill. We win. Oh, that's right. I also forgot to tell you. After 3 rounds, we could have evaded combat, but... we need to retreat. The vast swarm reels back to feast upon the mutilated remains of their kin that lie piled in heaps all around you. Your arms, legs, and hands are bleeding from several small nips and gashes where one or more of the rats broke through your formidable defense to bury their chisel-like teeth onto your skin. Your victory has brought you time to think, but it will only be a matter of seconds before the rats launch another attack. So do we climb over the rocks, or do we drag our coracle back in the water and escape from the bay? I mean, they're less hungry, but that means they're stronger now. Oh, whoops, that's right. I forgot to actually change the value over there. Yep, we got nothing. I mean, did you expect the rats to have gold?
What a scene, man.
Thank you for the donation. Right now we've got 22 HP because curing allows us to get 1 HP back with every section that doesn't have a fight. So alright, I'd say 2 votes on climbing the rock. Yeah, we'll be fine in 4 sections. Okay, climb on the rocks. I guess that's what we're gonna do. Because nobody wants us to go back in the water. A new sound is added to the terrible squeal of the hungry rats. The sound of splintering wood. In less than a minute, your small boat is completely devoured, leaving no trace of its ever having existed. The jagged rocks cut onto your hands and knees, but you're oblivious to the pain as you clamber across them to the beach beyond. You set off at a run, but the fine black sand closes around your ankles, and your legs ache violently with every desperate set. A glance over your shoulder warns you that the pack is gaining ground rapidly. It will be on you before you reach the rocky base of Kazan-Oud. And suddenly, the squealing stops. The black tide has halted at the edge of the beach. Their white teeth snap on empty air, and hungry eyes watch your every movement, but every single one of them is rooted to the rocks. As you turn to make your escape, you wonder why the rats no longer pursue you. Less than 10 feet ahead lie the horrific answer to your question. A great toad-like face stares unblinkingly into your eyes as it emerges from the shadows.
Looks like you've just subscribed.
Thank you, Grumpy Old Milk, for the sub. Thank you very much. Nah, that's because they're evil rats. Its body, pale and bloated like a huge fat worm, slithers into view, and you shudder at the sight of the open sores that disfigure its skin. A ghastly noise echoes from deep within its mouth as it rears up to attack you with a razor-sharp tongue. Due to the surprise of its attack, you cannot use the bow. Alright, first of all, here's a good boy. Like, I don't know, he doesn't seem that bad. I mean, he doesn't seem like that bad, but, yeah, this fight actually... Okay, never mind. We still have a combat ratio of 2, but hey... At least we're definitely fighting more worthy opponents. But yeah, if you wish, you may evade after 2 rounds of combat. If we have invisibility, we could evade combat at any time. But I figure that the people are just gonna go like... Fight! Alright, let's just go and do this. He's adorable. I mean, he's kind of cute. I'll give him that. So 7, 10 damage to the enemy, 1 damage to us. Oh, 9. All right. 14 damage to the enemy, no damage to us. Okay, so much for this being a worthy opponent. Ah, okay, I guess that they finally did some damage. 4 damage to them, they're dead. They're dead, I mean, but we take 5 damage in the process. But hey, at least we won. Whoops. Also, why do I have a number here? This is not supposed to be here. The hideous creature lets out a deafening cry as you strike your final blow. It crashes to the ground, displacing a ton of sand as its massive bulk settles on the beach. Attached to a heavy black chain around its loathsome midriff is a gold key. If you wish to take this key, mark it on your action chart as a special item. Alright. Very least, now we got something.
What a scene, man.
Yep. Yep, it's gonna take more for us to die. But thank you again for the donation. Your victory raises your spirit, but they soon sink again when you hear the unmistakable sound of wrath. The chase is resumed. The frenzied squeal of the rats fill your ear as you force your aching legs to propel you across the beach. Beyond an outcrop of pitted stone, a stream cascades down the sheer rock wall, cutting a deep gully across the beach as it flows into the lake. Spanning this gully is a natural bridge of stone. Its center is very thin and narrow, and as you near the bridge, you fear it is too thin to support your weight. So, alright, do you have divination? Yes, we do. So, what's the scoop on this bridge? You sense that the bridge is strong enough to support your weight so long as it is not subjected to any sudden or violent shock. Such a shock could easily open up one of the many cracks that riddle its core. Forewarned by your Kai mastery, you step onto the bridge and advance carefully. As you reach the center of the bridge, the leading rats are flowing up the slope of the arch. You turn and confront them, drawing a weapon in preparation for a fight to the death, if necessary. As they swarm nearer, you lash out, cleaving them from the narrow apex to fall, splashing into the torrent of water below. With your third... yeah, I added it to the special items. Don't worry, it's there. With your third blow, a shudder runs through the stone, causing you to stagger and fall. You land on the opposite bank, winded but otherwise unarmed. A loud crack fills the night and the whole center section of the bridge collapses into the gully with a tremendous splash. Safe now from the ravenous rats, you can afford to continue along the beach at a less punishing pace. The stone block of a fallen tower lies scattered in an uneven line across the beach, like the vertebrae of a long-dead giant. Lightning flashes and you see in the battlements of Kazan-Oud a wide breach in the wall where the tower once stood. A stone staircase rises from the beach to the top of the ruined wall, but sections of it are missing, presumably torn away when the tower collapsed. Do we attempt to climb the stairs to the fortress, or do we continue along the beach? Yeah, I mean, your Kai disciplines can save you from a lot of problem. Alright, climb the stairs. Porker, Kazan-Oud. I'm gonna guess that means climb the stairs. Alright, another vote for the fortress. I mean, why not? Let's go to the front door. You never know what could happen. To begin with, the shattered steps and hollows pose no problem that your agility and skill cannot overcome. However, as you are nearing the top of the stairs, you suddenly find yourself staring into a yawning void. The steps have been sheared away, leaving a gap over 20 feet wide. Alright, do we have a nexus? No, we don't. But we have a rope, however, so hey, let's use it. You tie a loop in one end of the rope and scan the opposite side for a secure target. A spur of stone near the center of the shattered staircase looked promising, and you aim for that. On your second attempt, the rope finds its mark and tightens around the stone. You waste no time crossing the gap, and within minutes, you are safely across and climbing the few remaining stairs to the breached fortress wall. Stepping carefully through the slime-smeared rubble, you stop for a moment to catch your breath and survey the shattered keep of Kazan-Oud. It is a desolate sight. Only stone buildings remain intact, and everything is covered with creepers and mildew. A great fire must have ravaged the inner fortress to have resulted in such total devastation. In the center of the keep stands the Great Hall, still an imposing stronghold and made all the more frightening by the constant flash of green lightning. Beyond its burned and fungus-covered door, twisted tree forms with sharp barbed thorns sprawl across the cracked flagstone like coil of steel wire. You're about to enter when a movement in the air around your head arrests you. A shape is taking form in the doorway, a shadowy figure with flaming red eyes. A icy chill grips your heart as it sweeps past you with a swirling rush of wind. You spin around to see it hovering in the sky, its shadowy hand now gripping a great spike ball and chain. It shrieks an unearthly cry, and the ball whistles down toward your unprotected face. Brrr! Alright, yeah, who would have thought that the front entrance will be protected? So, alright, do we have the Magnakai discipline of Psy screen? Yeah, actually, we do.
What a scene, man!
Oh. I mean, maybe we'll find it, Gilgamesh. Maybe we will. Thank you very much for the donation. Yeah. Your psychic senses tell you that what you see before you is an illusion. The Wudakon is a spectral force, placed here by a powerful magician and activated by anyone or anything that dares to approach the door of the Great Hall. Mustering your courage, you challenge the illusion by commanding it to disperse. The shadow, which seconds before looked tall too real, dissolves like mist into the chill night air. All that remains is a fading cry of frustrated anger that echoes through the ruin of the keep. There we go, Psy screen finally saw use. Stealthily, you cross the cracked flagstone floor of the Great Hall, your muscles and nerve tense for the sound of danger. The constant sound of dripping water and the howl of the storm add to the utter desolation of the chamber. A thorny jungle of briar climbs the wall with greedy claws, coiling around the rotten frames of painting and weaving.
What a scene!
Yep. Thank you. Thank you very much. Coiled around the rotten frames of painting and weaving through damps and moldering tapestries. Suspended above the fireplace is a great Anarian broadsword, its pitted steel blade pointing to one side. Your eyes travel along the blades to the shadows of the fireplace, and you notice something lying in the grate. Moving nearer, you see that it is the body of a dead man. Behind it is a panel wedged open by the corpse, and peering into the gloomy opening, you can just make out some stairs disappearing down in the darkness. Yep, there we go. A picture of a corpse, ladies and gentlemen. And over here, that's what's used in order to put your the raisins into raisin bran. So, do we examine the dead body or do we explore the secret passage? Examine body, loot the corpse. I mean, nothing bad could happen. It's a corpse. Yeah, alright, dead body. The first thing that you notice is the warrior's lack of wounds. No sword cuts or arrow shaft pierce his armor. If it were not for the unmistakable smell of death, you could be forgiven for thinking that he was asleep. You turn the body over to take a look at his face and recoil in shock at the sight before you. The eyes are missing, leaving two ghastly black holes. The tongue hangs out, dark and swollen, and from the corner of the twisted mouth oozes a thick, greenish fluid. Filled with revulsion, you leave the body and step into the secret passage. Descending the narrow staircase, you arrive at a tunnel-like corridor sandwiched between two walls of moldering masonry. Foul, oily water gurgles along a channel in the slippery floor towards a distant archway, which is blocked by a black iron portcullis. Bolted to the crisscross bar is a plaque which bears a curious design. On the wall to your left is a large, rusty dial with a brass pointer. Set around it, like the numeral of a clock, are the numbers 1 to 40, and below the dial is a lever. Your basic Kai instinct tells you that by selecting the correct number or numbers and pulling the lever, you will open the portcullis. Alright, first of all, let's check out what Batmanship has to say to us. Using your discipline, you focus your attention on the strange triangular plaque fixed to the bars, and gradually its purpose becomes clear. By finding the total number of triangles contained in the design and turning the pointer to the same number on the dial before pulling the lever, you will ensure that the portcullis opens safely. Turn back to 11 and study the design. When you think you have the answer, turn to the entry that bears the same number. And finally, if we have divination, you sense that a trap guards this portal. Should you choose the wrong number or numbers before pulling the lever, the consequences could be fatal. Alright, let's go back to the drawing here in order to start cracking on this. So how many triangles are in there? It's a number between 1 to 40. At that point, I will take the very first answer that anyone brings forth to the chat. Meanwhile, perfect puzzle-solving music. Yeah, we already checked out what divination does, and it essentially tells you if you fuck this puzzle up, there will be bad things happening to you. Alright, I count 13. Let's try it out. Alright, turn to the entry. 13. The shriek of metal on metal reverberate along the tunnel as great iron cog grind into action. Ding, 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 ding. Congratulations, you got it right. Slowly, the portcullis rises into the roof. Wasting no time, you duck beneath the pointed bars and hurry into the passage beyond. Rats flee, squeaking, as you stalk along the slippery flagstone. You wince as their claws rasp on the wet rock and their hairless tail furrow the stinking green slime that covers the surface of the tunnel floor. The passage widens as it approaches a staircase that leads down. Halfway down the stairs, you disturb a colony of bats nesting in the ceiling. They squeal angrily and whirl around your head, battering you with their wing and nipping at your face with their sharp, needle-like teeth. Ah! I hate you! So, alright, do we have animal control or Psy Surge? Nope, we got neither of these. The bats are ravenously hungry and have been stirred to a frenzy by the unexpected smell of their favorite food, warm human blood. It is too late to avoid combat. You must fight for your life if you are not to become their feast. Unless you have the Magnakai discipline of curing, you must double all endurance point losses you sustain due to the bat's poisonous saliva. I mean, they are fantasy bats like that. That's close enough. Alright, 32 against 26. We have 31. So that's a combat ratio of 12. That's as high as it can possibly go. So, alright, let's fuck these bats up. Okay, 4, 12 damage to the bats, and 2 to us. Round 2. Oh, 1. Ouch. 9 damage to the bats, 3 to us. Like, even with that much combat ratio, the worst result is still mostly okay. Alright, 0. They're insta-kill. We win. Oops. Alright, 21. So, alright, if you win this combat, yes, we did. As the few remaining survivors whirl away into the darkness, you sheath your weapon and kick aside the torn bodies of those who fell to your deadly blows. A stone room awaits you at the bottom of the stairs, featureless and bare except for a weapon rack hanging on the wall in the far corner. It holds a spear and a broadsword, both in remarkably fine condition. Torchlit tunnels offer an exit from this chamber. One descends to the north, the other to the east. First of all, let's see what Petmanship has to say to us. Covering the floor of the north tunnel are myriad tiny animal tracks. Rats, mice, worms, and snakes, denizens common to every subterranean lair, have all left their mark upon the grime-encrusted flagstone. But the east tunnel bears no such marking. There the ground is smooth and undisturbed. Not even a film of dust discolored the grey stone floor. Your senses warn you that this tunnel is more than it seems. So, do we take the north tunnel where all of the vermin come and go, or do we take the east tunnel that seems a little too nice? Alright, follow the vermin. Let's go north. Alright, anybody want to risk the east tunnel? Like, I'm not proud of myself, but I live to create distance into the whole thing. Alright, let's go north. The tunnel descends to a vast cavernous hall. Spirals of yellow smoke rise up on either side of a narrow stone path walkway that lead to its center. There it meets another path running from east to west. Cautiously, you advance along the walkway, your stomach unsettled by the stench of the sulphurous smoke and the sight of the dark, yawning void on either side. At the junction, you hear the sound of running feet echoing from an archway to your right. The footfalls grow louder, and suddenly, a man in leather armor bursts out of the darkness, his studded boots striking sparks on the stone pathway as he skids to a halt. Sweat pours down his lean and leathery face, and his eyes flash with fear. He casts an anxious glance over his shoulder before unsheathing his sword and advancing toward you. Alright, do we have divination? Yes, we do. You sense that the man is petrified with fear. An aura of evil grows stronger by the second, radiating from the darkened archway like a terrible black heat. The evil is so strong that it blocks your discipline, and you cannot be sure if the warrior is a friend or a foe. So do we draw a weapon and prepare to defend ourselves? Do we avoid a confrontation by running in the archway opposite? Or do we shoot at the warrior with our bow? So that's perfect music for evil. Okay, avoid him, avoid, slice him in half, bow. Okay, so I'm gonna guess keep our distance means running away, right? I mean, whatever's happening in front seems like bad news, so alright, whatever. I guess the people have spoken. Let's go to 47. You are 10 feet from the archway when a ghastly scream freezes you in your tracks and forces you to glance over your shoulder at a terrible scene. 3 creatures, no taller than men but with shiny skin as black as night, clawed the warrior in a grisly tug of war. The snapping of bone and tearing of flesh makes you shudder, and the sight of the dead man's limb being swallowed whole makes your stomach churn uncontrollably. The ghoulish creatures gurgle their delight, their jaws dislocating to accommodate their feast. As their fiery eyes fix themselves on you, a cold dagger of fear stabs into your mind. Blinded by panic, you turn and flee into the darkness of the archway. You have taken only a few steps when you hear a faint whispering sound. You watch, horrified, as the hard stone floor beneath your feet disappears into a yawning black hole. Helpless, you tumble onto the void, knocking yourself unconscious on a jabbed outcrop of rock as you plummet into unknown depths. You regain consciousness with a start, reaching instinctively for your weapon, lest danger be waiting to greet you. A dull throbbing fills your head as you sit up to take stock of your surroundings. You find yourself on top of a mount of rotting vegetation, stacked high in the corner of a shadowy chamber. A harsh reptilian odor fills your nostril, the unmistakable smell of snakes. As your vision's clear, you notice, amid the slime that covers the floor, what appears to be undigested human bones. A rib cage, 2 skulls, and several vertebrae are illuminated by a shaft of light that descends from a grate in the ceiling. It flickers and, for a second, you catch a glimpse of a skull-like face through the iron bar. Fear wells up inside you as a chilling laugh pierces the silence.
What a scene, man.
Yep, the void is not fucking around. Thank you very much. But it is not the sound of the cruel, inhuman laughter that freezes your blood. It is the sight of the colossal, wedge-shaped head that is rearing up through the mound of which you sit on. It is the head of a gigantic snake. Yep. Like, I can barely even see its size. Like, what the fuck is this thing? You leap to your feet and run to the far corner of the chamber, your heart pounding loudly in your ears. The snake rises up almost to the ceiling, its forked tongue flickering angrily below a single yellow eye, which is set deep in the center of its green scaly head. Once more, the chamber echoes its cruel laughter as the monster shakes off its rottingness and slithers forward. Alright, we don't have animal control, so we can do that, but we have a bow. Do we wish to use the bow, or do we do not? Alright, I like the bow plan. Bow, shoot him in the face. Bow. Alright, let's not wait for it. It's bow time, baby. To your horror, you discover that the quiver is completely empty. Your arrows have fallen out and lie buried in the nest of vegetation upon which you awoke. Whoops. Well, that was fun while we had arrows, I guess. With a cry of frustration, you shoulder your bow and unsheath a hand weapon as the snake draws itself back in preparation to strike. The snake reveals its fangs. Like great curved broadswords glistening with venom, they shine coldly in the light that pours down through the grating high above. You grip your weapon, bracing your back against the wet stone wall and waiting for the right moment to strike. As the monstrous head sways awkwardly from side to side, you catch sight of a small tunnel cut out by the far wall, which was previously hidden from view by the snake and its nest. Your spirits are raised by the possibility of escaping from this nightmare, but first you must fight this hideous creature. But yeah, they actually put in like an errata that says if you still have any arrows in your quiver, they have fallen out in your fall. But in the original book, if you never had a look at your bow, then your arrows actually were still there. So unless you have curing, double all endurance point you lose because of the venomous bite of the monster. Alright, at this point I'd say, okay, we still have 22, okay, we still have 9 combat ratio, but hey, I guess we could get to 11 if we swallowed some elixir, so I'll let the people decide. After all, this fight could be maybe long, and we only have one chance out of 10 to get an insta-kill. At this point, I'm just gonna check out do people want us to chug some Eliter in order to maybe just be able to school this fucker to oblivion and beyond. Alright, I guess we're gonna chance it this way. Let's go. Alright, our combat ratio is 9. Oh, never mind. We have 2 chances of insta-kill. Alright, 12 damage to the monster, 2 damage to us. Oh, 7. What is 7 good for? 16 damage to the monster and no damage to us. Okay, curing is also a discipline that's getting plenty of use right now. 14 damage. Oh wait, am I reading the thing correctly? I'm not sure anymore. Oh yeah, that's right. Our combat ratio is 9. But yeah, 14 damage to the enemy, 1 damage to us. Okay, I guess the Eliter was not necessary. Because we're doing just fine. Okay, insta-kill. It's over. Again, we have fucked up things that are way bigger than we are. A maniacal scream of anger echoes from behind the grating as the giant snake crashes lifelessly on the ground. Suddenly, bolts of red fire are raining down all around you, splintering the stone floor and leaving nothing but molten cinders wherever they strike. Clamber across the snake and dive into the tunnel to avoid this rain of crimson death. To your dismay, you discover the tunnel is no more than a shallow cave, a shelter for a clutch of eggs, each one no smaller than a barrel of ale. They rest upon a bed of packs and torn clothing, the last remains of adventurers who fell foul of the traps of Kazan-Oud. Do we check out the items more closely, or do we look out for a way to leave? The eggs could hatch, but we also destroyed their dad and their mom. Alright, so far 2 votes in order to escape. Oh, alright, 1 vote for examining item closely. I mean, animal control could have been a good deal for this book, but it's like, hey. Alright, let's go. Let's examine. Okay, the eggs are warm, and you can feel tiny movements through the leathery shells. Carefully, you roll them aside and sift through the debris of the nest. You discover several items of interest. Alright, a mace. Padded leather waistcoat. I mean, we already have the improved version of it. A sword. A helmet that adds 2 points of endurance when worn. I mean, we already have a silver helmet that increases our combat skill by 2. A blanket. A bottle of wine. A dagger. And a potion of loam spur. At that point, I'd say maybe toss aside one of our meals in order to get the potion. And now the other question is, will we take the bottle of wine or the blanket? I mean, we could heal right now, but the problem is we're only missing 1 HP. So I'd say let's stockpile them for later. Yeah, at that point, yeah, let's just toss a meal aside. I can't imagine we're gonna spend like days in here, so yeah, whatever. Now the jury's out on whether we're bringing a bottle of wine along for adventure or not. Yeah, both blankets and wine are useful puzzle-solving items. I mean, the wine will not help you solve the puzzle, but it will make you less frustrated about failing it. Okay, now that the question... Yeah, use the wine as a prime. Alright, there's so much talk about the wine. Yeah, let's fucking throw a meal away just for a bottle of wine. There we go. Yeah, if you take any of these items, remember to adjust your action chart. The sound of a bolt and the creak of a dry hinge echoes from the chamber behind you, causing your pulse to race in you. Alright, pick a number from the random number table. Okay, 5. Don't know what that means, but we'll see. Desperately, you tap the wall with the hilt of your weapon, praying for the dull, telltale thud of a thin or hollow partition through which you might effect an escape. The walls yield no such sound, but in the roof you discover an old trapdoor hatch sealed off with bricks and mortar. The faint glimmer of light seeping through a hairline cracks fills you with renewed hope. With a flurry of blows, the mortar crumbles and the bricks split and fall. Without waiting for the dust to settle, you climb through the jagged hole and emerge into a hall that is filled with a damp and earthy smell. 2 rows of great stone pillars support the roof, and a huge granite sarcophagus stands in the center of the floor. From within a dark tunnel to your right, you hear the clanking of armor and the sound of approaching footsteps. Alright, do we hide between one of the pillars? Do we leave the hall by a tunnel to our left? Or do we lie in ambush for whatever is approaching the hall? Okay, hide. Nope out. But by noping out, do you mean hide behind a pillar or leave by a tunnel to the left? There are 2 ways in order to not face the opposition going for us. Okay. Okay, 1 vote for pillar, 1 vote for hallway. I mean, mastered everything. We're still missing 6 disciplines right now. We are nowhere near close to being a master. Right, so far it's a tie. 1 vote for hiding, 1 vote for leaving the hall by a tunnel to the left. We're gonna need somebody to chime in and save the day by setting our hero into action. Oh, yeah, we gotta go the fast way, so I'm gonna say let's leave by a tunnel to the left. You make your way quickly along the tunnel until you reach a chamber illuminated by a shaft of shimmering red light that descends from a square hole in the ceiling. A pair of huge iron doors fill the opposite hall, but in order to reach them, you will have to pass through the eerie red light. Close to the archway by which you entered, another tunnel exits from the chamber, curving off toward the east. Do we walk through the red light in order to examine the iron door, or do we leave the chamber by the east tunnel? Okay, 1 vote for east tunnel. I mean, yeah, red light is kind of suspicious. Okay, leave the chamber by the east. Red light does seem like a bad idea. I know, right? Alright, I'd say let's go east then. Alright, you follow the tunnel for nearly an hour before arriving at a torchlit hall whose walls are hung with beautiful tapestries, undamaged by the damp that pervades the upper level of the grim fortress. It looks as if the hall is a dead end, and you're about to turn back when you notice a small door tucked away in one corner of the opulent chamber. So, do we open the door, or do we take a closer look at the tapestries? Dodever. Alright. One vote for door, one vote for tapestry. Yeah, tapestries are always fun. I mean, they're education for the eyes. Alright, tapestries. The designs are woven from pure gold and silver, studded with gems and semi-precious stones. You marvel at the craftsmanship and beauty of these tapestries. They must be worth many thousands of crowns. One gem in particular catches your eye, a large diamond. Unable to resist the temptation, you prise it from the cloth and drop it in your pocket. So, do we have a spot for a diamond? Okay, I guess so. I mean, we already have a diamond, but hey, 2 diamonds is better, right? Alright, before leaving the hall by the door. A dark corridor greets you beyond the door. You enter and feel your way along the wall, guided only by a tiny light in the distance. A sudden screech of metal sends a chill down your spine, and to your horror, you see a block of black iron falling in front of the door. In a matter of seconds, the exit is sealed off completely. A loud hissing fills your ear, and a strangely bitter smell assails your nostril. By the time you realize that the air is being flooded with a powerful sleep gas, pumped in through tiny vents near the door, you're already succumbing to its irresistible power. You awake to such an astounding sight that you feel sure you must be dreaming. Before you lies a titanic circular hall of glittering marble, rising tier on tier like a gigantic amphitheater. A vast pit fills the center, from which arises a pinnacle of black iron, which is licked by sheets of flame that roar up from the depth below. Scores of seated creatures crowd the tiers, every one of them staring at you, their eyes like pinpoints of fire gleaming coldly from the shadows of their hooded robe. You hear the rustle of their mocking laughter, and your skin prickles with eerie premonition. A great gong booms in the distance, and a doleful chant arises from the crowded tier. An urge to run from this evil place grips you like a fever, but your wrists are manacled securely to a bronze ring filled to the wall above your head. Yep, there we go. Here's the crowd. Alright, hold on a second. Oops, nope, that's the wrong thing. Okay. Let the trial commence! Commands a mighty voice, filling the hall with clamoring echoes. As one, the robed spectators rise from their seats as a shaft of light pours down upon the pinnacle, illuminating the outline of a man, white-haired and gaunt, seated on a massive throne of solid gleaming gold. Suspended in the air above his head are 2 crystals, one as clear as a polished diamond, the other as black as the grave. A crackling arc of energy travels between the two, and its flickering blue light sheds a ghostly shadow on the face of the seated lord. "Intruder!" he says, his voice soft yet chilling. "You have come to Kazan-Oud with murder in your heart. Have not the cowards of Helzian promised to reward you for my destruction?" A drone of dissent surges from the crowded tiers, drowning any answer that you may offer in your distance. Yeah, that is not a soft but chilling voice. I'm sorry. Drowning any answer that you offer in your defense. Also, we're gonna spin the joke wheel at the end of the stream, it seems. The Lord rises slowly from the throne and turns to his baying minion, his hands outstretched as if to receive the adulation. As their ghastly drone grows louder, your eye is drawn to the clear crystal that hovers above the throne. A golden light now glows at its core. In a flash of understanding, you recognize the object of your quest. Here is the Lorestone of Herdos. Your verdict, my children? Cries the wild-eyed man, his voice now harsh and angry. Guilty, Lord Zada! The crowd howls in reply. The sentence? Retorts the master. Demise! They scream. Demise! Alright, do we have the summer sword? Yes. A rickety, hunchback creature, swathed in a hooded robe, approaches the platform on which you stand manacled to the wall. With an efficiency born of practice, quickly strips you of all your weapon and hands them to an ugly-faced dwarf, hovering at his side. The dwarf looks at the summer sword with an appraising eye, and then raises it above his head to show it to his master. Before he can speak, there's a sudden roar, as a bolt of golden energy engulfs the hilt. Screaming with pain, the dwarf drops the sword and cradles in smoking hand, his fingers now missing half their length. You are unable to hide your smile and are quickly punished for your insolence. The robe creature strikes you across the face, gashing your cheek with its rough, warty fist. Alright, lose 1 endurance point. I mean, we'll get it back on the next chapter, so I'm not even gonna subtract it. Take him to the maze! Commands white-haired Lord Zada. And leave the sword for me! The summer sword rises into the air and floats toward the golden throne on a cushion of blue mist. As you are dragged from the hall in chain, you are taunted by Zada's cruel laugh and the fear that your quest is now doomed to failure. Alright, you raise all weapons and all weapon-like special items, and make a note of them on a separate piece of paper in the case you will rediscover them later. Alright, we had a warhammer and a bow. And yeah, summer sword. And a dagger of Veshnu. That's all of the stuff that we're gonna be deprived of. Yep, that's why I'm copying and pasting them away. An escort of armored guard forces you along a steel passageway lined by a crowd of jeering minions. They punch and spit as you pass between them, and their foul curses ring in your ear. The guard halt before a huge door of iron and unlock the manacles that encase your bruised and bloodied wrists. Yeah, we're gonna change our combat skill as soon as we're gonna get into the maze. The point of their spears never wander far from your throat, discouraging any attempt at escape. The door rumbles open and a cheer goes up as you are pushed headfirst into a foul-smelling pit. Welcome to the maze! Sneers the chilling voice of Lord Zada from somewhere high above your head. You struggle to your feet and peer up at a ceiling of swirling mist. A faint glow is gradually taking shape, condensing and forming into the likeness of a human skull. Baleful green eyes stare down at you from bony socket, and a powdered wig, like that of a high court judge, sits squarely upon its fleshless head. You came here to kill, but your plans have been foiled, and now you must face the consequence, echoes a voice in the skull. You have been sentenced to enter the maze of Zada. If you escape, your life may be spared. If you fail, then you will surely die. A fitting hand for one who came here in search of death. The skull retreats into the mist, and a deathly silence fills the pit. A semicircular shadow forms on the wall ahead. It grows larger and darker until it resembles the mouth of a cave or tunnel. Suddenly, a gust of chill air whistles from out of the darkness, and you realize you're staring at the entrance of the maze. Enter! Orders the voice. Enter, or die where you stand! It is no idle threat. A crossbow bolt slams into the sand barely inches from your feet, and the click of a steel drawstring warns that another could follow if you disobey the command. Reluctantly, you step forward and enter the maze of Zada. Oh yes, since things have changed, let's change our combat skill accordingly. So our base combat skill is 17. Without any weapons, it sinks down to 13. But we still have a shield, which gives us 2 combat skill. We have the silver helm, +2. And we also have Mind Blast. So, yeah, in the end, we still have 19 points of combat skill for the time being. Oh, hello! Whoops. I guess I fucked up the end then. Oh well. You are standing in a passage, the walls and floor of which are completely sheer and smooth. Overhead swirls a mist that gives off a dim, diffuse light, just sufficient for you to be able to see your way ahead. Without your weapons, you feel naked and vulnerable, but you take some comfort in the fact that you still have your backpack, your gold crowns, and your special items. Cautiously, you walk along the passage, expecting the unexpected, until you arrive at a circular vault. There, upon a block of marble in the center of the floor, lies a steel sword. As you step into the vault, slabs of stone sink into the floor to reveal 2 exits. One to your left, the other to your right. So do we have divination or psi screen? Yes, we do. The sword itself appears plain and unremarkable, but the block on which it rests gives off a strong aura of magic. Your Kai mastery makes you wary of stepping any closer. Do we have Nexus? No, we don't. If you have a sword and you wish to try to lasso the sword, turn to 182. And if we decide to ignore the sword, we can go in the left or the right tunnel. So do we try to lasso the sword? Alright, rope, lasso, hee-ha. Hee-ha! Just like that game. Alright, let's lasso. You have no difficulty in looping your rope around the hilt of the sword and drawing it toward you. It is a very plain, heavy-bladed weapon of poor quality and unworthy of your scabbard, but in this strange and hostile maze, this rough steel blade helps to restore your hope of survival. Alright, we got a sword! And therefore, her combat skill goes back up by 4. So now, do we go in the left or the right tunnel? I mean, I don't know. Donkeys could also lasso. It's just like, don't discriminate the donkeys. Alright, 2 votes for right, 1 for left, another vote for left. I don't know, this is not good maze music. Just like, I don't feel threatened right now. Okay, I guess this is more like it. Yep, we got a tie. We need to differentiate. We need to cast aside which part are we gonna go by. We'll take whatever the next person will say. Okay, let's go right. You walk along the passage for several minutes until it turns sharply to the left. Cautiously, you peer around the corner, your basic Kai instincts alerting you to a potential threat. Peering down, you see a beam of light shining from one side of the corridor to the other. The passage ahead looks no different than those in the rest of the maze, but you feel sure that it contains a deadly trap. So, do we step over the beam of light and continue along the passage, or do we walk through the beam? Okay, we step over. Step over. Oh, 1 vote for going through. Alright, let's see if there's any tiebreaker happening in here, or do we just step over the beam? Okay, over. Let's go. Let's avoid the beam. Jets of fire spurt from the floor and walls, momentarily blinding you. A wave of searing heat buffets your face, singeing your hair and eyelashes. 2 endurance points lost. Whoops. That I did 4. Okay. Suddenly, and forcing you to retreat for fear of being burned alive. Suddenly, there's a ghastly scream. Something is approaching you through the flames. In the next instant, a blazing human form staggers into view. It shrieks in agony and lurches out of the fire jet, its arms flailing wildly as it launches an attack. Do we have Nexus? Nope, we don't. So, do we prepare to defend ourselves? Do we run past the fiery attacker and into the blazing inferno? Or do we evade both by running back along the tunnel and try the other path? Okay, defend. Okay, 1 vote for fighting, 1 vote for going back. Alright, let's try and fight the Burning Man. Let's go. With a cry that shakes your soul, the creature leaps forward to claw at your throat. Creature is immune to Mind Blast, but not Psy Surge, and unless you have the Magnakai discipline of Nexus, double all endurance point that you lose due to the severity of the burn. So, yeah, right now, our combat skill... Wait, does our combat skill also include a Mind Blast right now? Yes, it does. So, alright, our combat skill for this fight is 21, so plus 7. But with that said, we gotta be careful because we're losing a double of our HP in this fight. Oh boy, alright, 2. We're off to a good start. Okay, 8 damage to the enemy, 6 damage to us. Alright, we better start rolling better. Okay, 0, thank goodness. 7. Okay, the enemy is insta-kill, so at least it only managed to burn us once. A heap of molten ashes now all that remains of the Flame Man. Then, as suddenly as they began, the jets of flame shut off, leaving the passage ahead shimmering with a heat haze. A laugh, cold and distant, echoes above the ceiling of mist, stirring you to curse Lord Zydo and his deadly maze. You cover 50 yards before the passage opens into a large circular chamber. There, on a plinth in the center of the floor, rests a... Oh, whoops. Okay, I guess I don't know how to count, my bad. Oh, no, that's right. It was not 23, our combat skill was 21 because I deducted 2 from it because we were unable to use Mind Blast. That was why our combat skill was at 21 for this fight, not 23. Essentially, 23 is if all bonuses possible are applied. Okay, thank God. I thought I was being wrong for a moment. But yeah, you cover 50 yards before the passage opens into a large circular chamber. There, on a plinth in the center of the floor, rests a severed human hand. The skin is molten and swollen, the fingers black and decayed. Beyond the plinth, the passage continues straight ahead, flanked by 2 pillars of speckled green stone. So, do we examine the severed hand or skirt along the plinth and enter the passage beyond? Alright, look at the gross hand, examine the hand. Okay, I guess we're looking at it. It's time to embrace the things we don't know. Without any warning, the hand springs to life. It stands upright on its finger, the first two drawn back so that it resembles a monstrous spider preparing to attack. You step back aghast as it scurries around in a circle on the granite plinth. So, do we attack the hand? If we have a fire seed, we can throw it at the plinth if we want to, or do we skirt around the plinth and enter the passage beyond? Yeah, sorry, the thing is not here to be polite or happy. Alright, throw a fire seed at it. Okay, another vote for fire seed. See if there's any other dissenting opinion. If not, we're definitely throwing a seed at it. Alright, fire seed it is. Snatching the seed from your tunic pocket, you hurl it at the plinth as hard as possible. There's a loud crack as the shell shatters, and a splash of bright flame engulfs the plinth. Soon, the hand catches fire. It wriggles and squirms as the flames feed on its loathsome flesh and is soon obscured by a pall of acrid black smoke. So, do we stand back and wait for the flames to die, or do we pass around the fire and enter the passage beyond? Right. First of all, I'll remove this. Alright, wait until the flames die. Okay, let's see what happens. Alright, let's see what happens. As the flames die down and the smoke clear, you see the blackened hand lying at the base of the plinth. To your horror and amazement, it begins to move, flexing its charred fingers jerkily. Open-mouthed, you stare in disbelief as it suddenly springs into the air and hovers above your head. Its writhing fingers stretch open as it plummets toward your skull. Alright, pick a number from the random number table. Alright, 6. Suddenly, you realize the horrific purpose of the hand. It is a predator, an evil sentient being that can only survive by consuming one form of nourishment: live human brain. Diving and rolling, you avoid its initial attack, escaping with scratches to your scalp. Lose 2 endurance points, but as it rises above you once more, you cannot help but fear that your life is soon to end. Immune to Mind Blast, but not Psy Surge. Yep, there we go. The thing is here to make your day bad. Yep, this thing is immune to Mind Blast again, so... Alright, at this point, combat skill 18, 21, combat ratio is 3, so... At this point, I'd say... Might be a time to drink an Alator potion, just in order to maybe even out the odds a little bit. Yeah, actually, let's do that. There we go. Bloop. We have just enough time in order to go drink up. Oh yeah, that's right. Also, we lose 2 endurance point right out the gate. Alright. Alright, combat time. Oh, 0, alright. So 5, 18 damage to the monster and no damage to us. Oh, okay. Maybe I was too cautious. The hand has been severed and only 2 assaults. So, alright, good job. The Rakos lies motionless on the ground before you, but In spite of the many blows you have dealt the creature, it bears no sign of having ever been involved in combat. Do we turn our back on the hand and enter the passage ahead, or do we wish to take a further look at it? Alright, enter the damn passage. I think we should leave. Get out! Okay, alright. I guess everyone agrees we need to leave. 1 vote for poking at it. 2 votes for poking at it. Oh, alright, sorry. Thank you for the reminder. So, alright, at this point, is there anyone who wishes to make this a tiebreaker? Right now, there's 3 votes for turning our back on it and enter the passage, and 2 in order to further investigate it. Oh, alright, an extra vote for poking. It's a tie. Oh, alright, another vote for poking it. Alright, let's take a look at it. As you peer at the horrible hand, it suddenly leaps at your face. You scream with terror, instinctively lashing out to deflect its attack. You strike it hard and send it spinning toward the green pillars and the passage beyond. Just as it draws level with the pillars, the hand explodes. It has spun straight into an invisible barrier of destructive energy that flows between the pillar. As the hand disintegrates into thousands of tiny fragments, you feel elated that, at last, victory is yours. Yep, it saved you, because if you decided to turn your back at it, the hand will just have come back to life, will have landed on your head and feasted on your brains. Good! Booms the voice of Zado as you enter the passage. The cowards of Elzian have at last sent a warrior worthy of my maze. The words conjure up a picture of Lord Zado seated on his golden throne, with the object of your quest, the Lorestone of Herdos, suspended above it. The image strengthens your resolve to survive this accursed maze and escape. If you can then find your way back to Zado's throne hall, the success of your quest will be within your grasp. You walk along the passage, your mind filled with the possible problems and peril you might have to overcome. One such problem looms into view as the passage takes a sharp turn. You enter a chamber where a tall bronze statue stands. You recognize its distinctive headdress and robes immediately. It is a Zakan, a ruler of the desert empire of Vasagonia. The statue looks most distressed. Its arms are outstretched in a gesture of hopelessness, and the expression of its face is one of sorrow and despair. Beyond the statue, an oval-shaped door is set flush in the wall, but you discover that it is locked. The mist grows brighter. Once more the skull appears and speaks. Its voice is comforting as a raven's croak. Listen to the Zakan. Ponder what you hear. Give the correct answer, for fear he sheds a tear. Yep. I'm not happy being the ruler, oh no. The skull disappears into the musty ceiling, and you watch amazed as the dull bronze lip of the statue begin to move. A harsh voice echoes from deep within its hollow metal body. My daughter has many sisters as she has brothers, but each of her brothers have twice as many sisters and as brothers. So answer me this, wise warrior. How many sons and daughters do I have? So yeah, consider your answer carefully, and when you've decided, write down first the number of sons the Zakan has, and then immediately next to it the number of daughters. Turn to the entry which bear the same number as your answer. So, okay, 1 son, 2 daughter. Is that your final answer? I'll leave people some time in order to ponder the problem. Spoiler alert, I'm bad at algebra and I have no fucking idea what the answer is. So, I'm absolutely, I have absolutely nothing to offer in terms of tips. Alright, so far the only answer that stands is one son and two daughter, and fuck you is another answer. Like, if anyone in the chat actually gets it right, they're actually gonna have to explain to me because I don't know this. Like, I couldn't even tell you, like, the number of the chapter that we gotta go to it. It's just like... Okay, 4 daughters and 3 sons. So, 3 sons and 4 daughters. Okay. But yeah, I'll wait probably yet another minute. In the meanwhile, I'm probably just gonna get a drink. Gotta make sure to let everyone crack on this problem right, in order to try and get us a good answer. Yeah, my daughter has many sisters. As many sisters as she has brother, but each of her brother has twice as many sisters and brother. Okay, so now... Okay, 2, 1, 3, 4... Oh, there we go. Perfect thinking music here. Alright, is it 2-1? Is it 4-3? Or something else? This is music from Dusk. Play it. Okay, sorry, I'm very bad at subtle plugs. Daughter is 1. Okay, so 1 son and 2 daughter. Is that our final answer? Is that anybody who wants to dispute this claim? For this part, I should have included the chat, because when in the VOD, it's gonna look like a part where I just absolutely do nothing right now. Like right now, all the action is in the chat. Yeah, it's not 2-1, but what is it? 4-3. And by 4-3, what will you mean by that? Each girl has 3 sisters and 3 brothers. Like, I'm reading your explanation in the chat and my head is just spinning. It's just like, I was never built for algebra. It's like, my god. Okay, so 4 daughters and 3 sons. Okay, the first digit is the number of son, and the other one, the number of daughters. So, alright, let's try this. 3, 4. Numbered section is 34, right. In reply to your correct answer, the oval door emits a click and slowly swings open. You step through and descend a steep ramp to a long corridor whose walls are covered with what appears to be gigantic cocoon that stretch into the distance for as far as you can see. The oval door clicks shut, but the clicking continues, like an echo, only growing steadily louder. The gloomy corridor ahead, you can see that something is moving. A huge worm-like creature with great black eyes and horny mandibles is slithering toward you, a purple fraud bubbling from its mouth as it picks up your scent. Alright, do we have invisibility? No, we don't. Do we have animal control? No. Do we have a silver whistle? No, we don't have that either. So we don't have anything of this. But yeah, it's like, if it's 4-3, each girl has 3 sisters and 3 brothers, and each boy has 2 sisters and 2 brothers. Okay, I still don't understand. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Relentlessly, the worms move forward, forcing you back up the ramp toward the oval door. But there's no escape this way. You have no choice but to fight the repulsive creature. The monster is especially susceptible to psychic attack. If you choose to use Mind Blast or Psy Surge during combat, double all endurance points losses sustained by the enemy. Okay, that's a reverse fight from earlier. Alright, combat ratio is 6. 25. I mean, do we really need that bonus? It seems that this monster is still kind of weak on its own, so... yeah, I don't know. The maze is getting tame, and so far I hate to say it's not even a maze, it's a linear path. So, alright, 6. The monster takes 18 damage times 236. This worm has been slashed so hard out of existence that it was never born. Your killing blow makes the Woodagorg twist back on itself. It's set disappearing into the misty ceiling. There's a deafening crack as blue lightning engulfs its neck, crackling snake-like around its horrible body and filling the corridor with the smell of burning meat. The creature thrashes wildly for several minutes, and when its gruesome dance finally ends, you see that the canopy of mist is no longer there. In the darkness above you, you see a deserted walkway and a metal observation platform. So, do we climb on top of the body of the dead worm in order to pull ourselves on the platform? Or do we just ignore this platform and just continue along the corridor? Okay, climb. Climb, buddy. Climb up. Okay, I think it's safe to say that we're climbing up. We're moving on up now. As you pull yourself onto the cold iron platform, you see the maze spread out below you like the surface of a massive brain. Each chamber is cell-populated with perils created by the devilish imagination of Lord Zada. A crisscross of interconnecting walkways is suspended above the maze by gigantic chains that vanish into blackness. You hurry along the high-end path toward a staircase that descends to an arch beyond the boundary wall of the maze. As you run through it, you can hear an alarm bell echoing in the vastness above. Your escape has not gone unnoticed. A vaulted corridor lies beyond the arch, which leads to a junction with 2 exits. Do we have petmanship? Yes. Your petmanship skill revealed that the passage to your left leads to a complex of prison cells. The passage to your right leads to a guard room and a torture chamber. So where do we go? Prison cells or torture chamber? Your choice. Okay, 1 vote for prison, 1 for torture, another 1 for cells. Yeah, but the torture room might be so fun. It's like, my god, I can't imagine all the great time we'll have there. Alright, guard might have our stuff, so alright, at that point, 1, 2, 3 vote for cell, 1 for guard. Oh, alright, 2 votes for guard. The plot thickens. Sadly, we don't. But hey, so far I'd say our current set of disciplines have served us very well in this book. Alright, I'd say... Right, unfortunately could not make a comeback, so we're going to the left. The passage leads to an enormous compound of cells that holds the slaves of Kazan-Oud. They are, in the main, a pitiful herd of gangling, black-skinned creatures with sorrowful eyes and back bent crooked by years of hard labor. These prisoners press their sad faces against the tiny grates of their cell, curious to see the fair-skinned warrior who walks upright among them. They hiss as you pass until the entire complex echoes to the sound of their sibilant scorn. At the end of the block, there's a cell that resembles a cage, denying its prisoner even the small degree of privacy provided by the others. You stare through the bars at a dark-skinned man sleeping on the straw-covered floor. His blonde hair and red and gold tunic are stained with blood and grime. A key to his cell hangs by a cord on a peg driven into the nearby wall. Do we take the key and release him, or do we just leave him by and continue? Alright, release, release. Wait and see if anyone else... Okay, set him free. That sounds about right. The creaking door steers the man from sleep, and he rolls over and cowers in the corner of his foul-smelling cage. His eyes are cloudy like frosted glass, and his face and hands are pitted with disease. Alright, do we have curing? Yes, we do. You recognize the symptom of takadea, or jail rot as it is commonly called in your country. As you approach the trembling man, you reassure him that you mean him no harm, that you can help him if only he will trust you. Placing your hands over his eyes, you transfuse the healing power of your Magnakai skill into his sick body, concentrating your energy into reversing the terrible effects of the disease. When you remove your hands, his eyes are no longer opaque. They gleam with a cat-like intensity. "I can see!" he says in astonishment, his voice cracked with emotion. "How can I ever repay you for this miracle?" Before you can answer, the sound of running feet echoes along the corridor outside. "Follow me," he says, springing to his feet. "If Zada's guards find you in here, they'll kill us both." Follow him to the end of the cell-blocked corridor, the angry shout of Zada's jailer ringing in your ear. A staircase looms ahead, descending to a lower level, but it is guarded by a grim-faced beastman armed with an axe. So double all endurance points lost by your enemy during this combat, for the beastman is also being attacked by your newfound partner. Alright, 17, 23, combat ratio is 6. And this thing is about to die a horrible death of destruction. Okay, 5. Our combat ratio is 6. 10 damage to the enemy multiplied by 2. That means 20 damage. And we lose 2 HP. Like at this point, I'm just rolling in order to see how much HP we lose. Okay, 32 damage to the enemy, no damage to us. This but a scratch. Like, come on, even without our super powerful sword, we can still hold our own like a champ. Your companion rolls the body over and unsheaths a short sword and a dagger from the belt. We may take the axe that was used in combat and the dagger if we wish. I mean, we only have one weapon, so... Alright, let's... Alright, for nostalgia's sake, let's take the axe, because, hey, that was the first weapon we ever had in our adventure. At the bottom of the stairs is a deserted hallway, at the end of which are two great doors of gleaming bronze. Sumptuous tapestries and statuettes of gold line the walls on either side, and an ornate fountain of silver marble fills the hall with a melodious bubbling sound. You've covered less than 20 feet when an armored guard steps into view from behind the fountain. He raises a crossbow and you shout a warning to your newfound partner, but you're too late. The bolt hisses through the air, hitting him with such force that he's knocked off his feet and sent crashing to the ground. The guard fumbles in a leather pouch for another quarrel with which to dispatch you. Do we hate our wounded companion or attack the guard before he can reload his weapon? Alright, attack before reload, attack, fight. Okay, The speed of your attack catches your enemy completely off guard. He attempts to parry your first blow with his empty crossbow, but you knock it from his trembling fingers, leaving him without a weapon to hand. Alright, it's time to avenge our partner. Combat skill of 9. At that point, who needs a summer sword? It's like, just have shitty-ass sword, but we do just fine. 0 insta-kill, alright. Companion avenge. You race over to your companion's side and discover that he's still conscious, although he has lost a lot of blood. Using your healing skill, you repair the wound as best you can, but it is deep and severe, and you can only prolong his life for a few minutes at most. You tell him of your quest and the help the Elder Magi have given to enable you to enter Kazan-Oud. As you recount your air voyage to Herdos aboard Lord Pydo's skyship, you notice his eye flicker in recognition of the name. "My name is Cassin," he says painfully. "Lord Pydo is my brother." You notice the resemblance in his cat-like eyes and square jaw. "I'm finished, Sky Lord," he says, his face bathed in sweat. "But I can and will help you in your quest. Listen carefully. Over there, behind the tapestry, is a secret passage. It leads to Zado's throne. Above the throne is the Lorestone of Herdos. But beware. Zado has coupled its power to a doomstone from the realm of Naros. He draws his power from that accursed gem. If you are to succeed, you must first destroy the doomstone, or you will surely perish. Sadly, I cannot help you escape from Kazan-Oud, but I myself was captured long before I reached the surface. But if you can get to the beach, make your way to the old stone jetty. I hid my boat beneath the steps there." His grip tightens around your hand as a wave of pain washes over his body. "When you return to Elsian, tell my brother that my death was not in vain. May the gods protect you, lone wolf." As his eyes close for the last time, you promise that his bravery will live forever in the heart of the Vecros, his brave warrior kin. You hear footsteps on the stair. More of the enemy are approaching. If they too are armed with crossbow, your chances of survival will be very slim indeed. Before you stand, two great bronze doors, flanked on either side by tapestry and gold statuette. Do we open the door and enter? Do we examine the tapestry? Or do we stand and fight the approaching enemy? Tapestry, yeah. I mean, the guy just told us, check the tapestry, so I'd say let's do as he says. The tapestry are similar to others you have seen in the lower level of Kazan-Oud. They are extremely beautiful and exceedingly valuable. However, it is what you discover behind them that is of greater interest, for they conceal a secret door Your basic Kai senses alert you to a tiny button set into the wall. You press it and the door slides open to reveal a circular tunnel of gleaming steel. Quickly you enter and the door slides shut, moment before the hall is filled with Zados guard. 50 feet along the gleaming steel tube, you arrive at a circular door in the wall to your left. Do we open the door or continue along the tube? Alright, open the door. Alright, so far one vote for opening the door. Alright, open the door. Alright, let's go. Spin a screw-like handle set in the center of the door, releasing the lock. You open the door and enter. Inside, you discover a room of steel. The walls, ceiling, and floor are all constructed of metal plate, which is polished to give a mirror-like shine. Low, high-end tables are set out with the implements and accessories of magic. Crucible, retorts, haludel, flasks, and all manner of twisting glass tubes, which bubble and seethe with multi-colored liquids. Vellum-bound tomes and crumbling parchment litter the shelves, competing for space with repulsive-looking pink organ floating in glass jar of vile-smelling preservative. Quickly you scan the shelf in search for useful item and, to your delight, rediscover all your confiscated weapon. Alright, there we go. Warhammer and bow, come back to my inventory. But most importantly, hey, we got the summer sword back, and the dagger of Vashno, I guess. I mean, it didn't see as much use, but we never know. It may be of use someday. So at this point, yeah, we're back to 31 combat skill. In addition to your weapon, you discover a large jar of concentrated loam spur, restores 8 endurance points, and a Kazan-Oud platinum hell amulet. Alright, if we wish to take the amulet, mark it as a special item. Alright, concentrated loam spur. Alright. Okay, with that said, however, if we are to take the Kazan-Oud Platinum Amulet, we're gonna have to drop something in order to get it by. So, at that point, we still have the Fire Seeds, the Shield, the Fire Sphere, the Diamond. I'd say right now we have 2 diamonds that are littering our inventory. We also got a gold key that we haven't really seen any kind of use whatsoever, so yeah. If we want to bring that, what are we gonna drop? I'd say we probably could drop a diamond. I mean, we got a diamond since book 3 and yeah, we didn't really get, you know, anything, so alright. Yeah, goodbye diamond, we'll miss you. Oh yeah, which you wear on your wrist, it will protect you from injury due to exposures to high temperature. Elated by the rediscovery of your equipment, you leave the chamber and press on along the shiny steel tube. As you walk, the temperature steadily rises until you are bathed in sweat. The steel plates of the tunnel become too hot to touch, and wisps of smoke rise from the soles of your boot, where the leather is close to igniting. We have Nexus? No, but we have a Kazan-Oud Platinum Amulet. After what seems like an hour, but in reality is only a few minutes at the most, the scorching heat subsides and the tunnel air becomes painless to breathe. You press on and soon arrive at an archway, where the shiny steel tube enters a chamber gouged out of solid black iron. There's a spiral staircase ascends to a portal. You climb the stairs and peer out through the portal. A sight greets you that sets your pulse racing. Before you stands a gleaming block of solid gold, the back of Lord Zados' throne. Above it, hovering motionless in the air, are 2 perfect crystals. One glows darkly with black fire, the other radiates a pure golden light that sends a shiver down your spine. It's the object of your quest, the Lorestone of Herdos. Do we take the Lorestone, attack the Black Crystal, or examine the throne? Yeah, I mean, that's what we were told. If we were to have a chance, we have to destroy the Doomstone. So I'll wait and see if someone else actually wants to do anything else. Examine the throne, examine the throne. Oh, 2 votes for 2. Oh, 3 votes. I'll see if there's anyone else that wants to actually do something else. Oh, alright. The vote is tied again. Okay, examine Tombstone might be white. Okay, I guess we're examining then. Cautiously, you walk around the throne, your weapon held out in readiness to strike. As you draw level, your heart leaps into your mouth. You are staring into the cold, unblinking eyes of Lord Zada. He sneers evilly and points a rod of inlaid platinum in your head. We have the Summer Sword. We do now. Blue fire leaps from Zada's staff, but you intercept and deflect it upon the blade of the Sun Sword. The murderous bolt screams into the dark hall, destroying a whole tier of seats with a thunderous concussion. You will die! 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 Shrieks Zada like a man possessed. He whirls his staff twice about his head before lunging at your face with its clawed tip. Lord Zada is immune to Mind Blast and Psy Surge. Oh boy, alright. So, our combat skill for this actually drops to 29. So, yeah, I'd say now's the time to actually drink that Helliter. So, we're back at 31. A combat ratio of -2. Alright, let's do this. This might actually be hard this time. Oh, fuck. Alright, first of all, let's switch to the correct scene. -2. Okay, the monster takes 2 damage. We get dealt 5 damage. Oh, 9, alright. 11 damage to the enemy, no damage to us. It's a combat of extremes. 7. 8 damage to the enemy, 2 damage to us. Oh, 7 again. 8 damage to the enemy, 2 damage to us. Nine, ho ho ho. Alright, 11 damage to the enemy, no damage. 0, the enemy is dead. Lord Zada has been killed. Long live Lord Zada. Lord Zada shrieks an unearthly howl as your killing blow rips open his black heart. He thrusts a pleading, claw-like hand toward the roof and drops heavily to his knees, his dying curse lost as blood fills his throat. His left eye gleams brightly for a second, then suddenly dies, like a candle flaring in a storm before it is extinguished by the rain. He sways and falls from the pinnacle to be devoured by the hungry flame of the pit. Hurrying over to the throne, you draw back your weapon and strike the black crystal with a mighty blow. It splits clean in two, releasing its dark power and showering you with hot sparks in the wake of its destruction. The riven fragments hurtle into the fiery abyss, and the flames grow deadly quiet. From the depth of the pit, a terrible roar begins to grow. The pinnacle shakes and a column of flame lights the entire throne hall as molten lava spews high into the air. So, do we take the Lorestone and exit back into the steel tube? Or do we take the Lorestone and seek another way to leave the throne hall? But yeah, if we decided to smash the crystal, we wouldn't have had to do this fight. Okay, one vote for steel tube, one vote for checking for another way. Yeah, both options are escape. The first option is leave from where you come, and the second option is try to find another way to leave. Alright, find another way. 2 votes for finding another way, and 1 in order to go back from where we came. Alright, I'll wait and see if someone else wants to draw the vote again. If not, we're gonna try and find another way to leave. Alright, we've chosen to find another way. You search a gleaming throne and the dais of black iron rock upon which it rests and discover a pinnacle carved deep into the gold. As you trace its design with your finger, a sound grows above the din of destruction, a sound like the tinkling of 1,000 tiny bells. In the blackness above the throne, a speckled glow appears. Slowly it descends toward you until a large section of the dais is engulfed by a column of shimmering blue light. You reach up and a wave of energy surges through your body as you close your hand around the Lorestone of Erdos. Alright, we get all of our HP back. Your senses tingle and a newfound strength wipes away the fatigue of your terrible ordeal, enabling you to assess the situation anew. The column of light is a magical transporter, a beam in which gravity is being reduced to almost zero. By entering it, you will be drawn toward the surface level of Kazan-Oud. Without hesitation, you pocket the Lorestone and step in the magical beam. Chunks of stone and iron are blasted into the upper reaches of the throne hall by the increasing power of the eruptions. Boulders, some the size of horses, seem to tumble in slow motion all around the beam as you are drawn irresistibly nearer to the roof. Suddenly the beam fades and you find yourself standing on a circular plinth in the center of a ruined temple near to the gatehouse of the castle keep. The glare of daylight blinds you, but as you gradually become accustomed to it, you cast your eyes over the shimmering waters of Lake Court, the town of Erdos, perched on the horizon. The walls of the fortress are beginning to crack and slant. Buildings are crumbling and the ground is alive with constant vibration. You run through the ruined main gate as bolts of lightning are drawn from the sky by the dying power of Kazan-Oud. At the top of a ruined staircase, you stare down at the lake far below. Do we make our way down to the old jetty? Do we make our way to the beach? Or do we decide to dive from the cliff in the water far below? Alright, 1 vote for jetty. Jetty, maybe there's another boat here. Oh yeah, do a flip on the way down. Jetty was the boat. Alright, I guess we're going down the jetty. Yeah, but remember, or Vaquero's friend have told us that they were keeping a boat there. So all right, let's not spoil things anymore. You are forced to cut a path through the horde of enemies that huddle on the steps leading to the jetty. Creatures are crawling out of the ground itself. Everywhere you look, black, slimy hands are bursting through the surface, squeezing their way free from Kazan-Oud through the scores of fissures opening up in the sheer rock wall. Near to the base of the steps, you are dragged to the ground by a clutch of loathsome slaves. They pay dearly for their mistake, but not before your backpack is torn from your shoulder. Whoops. Alright, we lose everything. When you reach a jetty, you're covered from head to toe in the blood of your foes. The sight is so frightening that all resistance melts away, and creatures hurl themselves into the lake rather than face the fearsome, straight-back, white-skinned killer of their kin. Beneath the jetty steps, you discover an arch, sealed off at one hand and with a weed-encrusted stone door at the other. Inside are a small wicker coracle and a paddle. Having fought off the most determined of Kazan-Oud's horror, you launch the coracle, jump aboard, and paddle frantically toward the distant glimmer of the power shield. The deafening death cry of Kazan-Oud echoes in your ear. So what happens? The entire island is literally self-destructing because we destroyed the source of its power. As soon as you have passed through the power shield, you are greeted like a hero by a huge flotilla of fishing vessels and trading barges. An hour ago, upon seeing the eruption of Kazan-Oud, every boat in Herdo set sail for the shield, for the eruption signaled the end of the bane that had haunted Dessi for hundreds of years. Now they cheer the Sumlending warrior who have delivered them from Dessi's evil shadow. Eager hands pull you aboard Lord Harden's caravel, and a fanfare salute is sounded by the trumpeteers of his Vaqueros guard. "We are forever in your debt, Lone Wolf," says Lord Harden as he shakes your hand warmly in gratitude and friendship. "You have achieved what we feared to be impossible, and you live to tell the tale. Your bravery is an inspiration to us all." His words are reinforced by the delirious cheers of his people. He asks of your own quest, and when you remove the Lorestone of Herdos from the pocket of your tattered and scorched tunic, his eyes widen with amazement. Like at this point, do we even see the full picture? Nope, we don't. Alright. Lord Harden, in widescreen. Oh boy. He bows his head and says in a solemn and respectful voice, "My lord, you stand upon the threshold of greatness. Your purpose and your destiny are known to the Elder Magi, for we have awaited your coming for many thousands of years. Our survival and the survival of all we cherish rest on the success of your Magnakai quest. The time has come, Lone Wolf, for you to learn our wisdom, for we are of the same blood, you and I, and our fate is bound together. We will prepare you for your next quest, for the Lorestone you must find next exists in the land that was once our home, in the temple that was once our most sacred place of worship, in the chamber where our master first appeared to us. Your quest has succeeded, for the strength and wisdom of the Lorestone of Erdos is now a part of your body and spirit. But there is much for you to learn from the Elder Magi as they prepare you for the most challenging of the Magnakai quests you have yet to attempt. A quest that will take you deep into the hostile swamp of the Danarg, where the evil creatures of Agarash the Dam still thrive and dominate the land. If you have the courage of a true Kai Master, the secrets of the Elder Magi and the peril of the Danarg await you in Book 8, entitled The Jungle of Horrors. Now, our spirit just eat the stones. Like, they're full of wisdom and we absorb them all. Like Pac-Man eats a power pellet. But each power pellet that we eat makes us stronger and stronger and stronger. Now, will this actually work? Nope. Alright. Alright, one moment. Before we end the stream, there are two things that need to be done. The first one, we need to go to this to the next book in order to decide what our next discipline is going to be. Yep, it's a rank up. Essentially, with each Lorestone that we find, we learn another discipline. So, yeah, before we go, might as well have a look at our lore circle in order to check out what the progress is currently being done with them. Essentially, if we picked animal control right now, we would finish the lore circle of light and we'll gain a bonus of 3 HP. Or we can continue working our way through the spirit lore circle, which gives us the biggest bonuses. But first of all, before we go and decide on anything, let's check out what improved disciplines do we have now that we've reached the rank of tutelary. But yeah, first of all, weapon mastery gets an upgrade. When we enter combat without a weapon, we only lose 2 points of our combat skill instead of 4. So yeah, better unarmed technique. Invisibility, we are able to increase the effectiveness of our skill by drawing the enemy attention to a place other than the one we're hiding at. The effectiveness increases as we rise in rank. Batmanship, we can detect an enemy ambush within 500 yards of our position unless that we have low HP because of wounds or lack of food. Psy-Screen, we develop mental defenses against magical charm and hostile telepathy. Their defenses increase in strength as we rise in rank. And Divination, we gain the ability to recognize objects or creatures with magical skills or ability. Although we're not able we're not going to be able to if the creature or object is shielded from detection. So, yeah, all of this is brand new to us, and the other two here could be ours if we decided to pick. So, alright, we might as well go to the disciplines now. As a reminder, weapon mastery, +3 to our combat skill on any of the weapon that we choose to master. We actually get to choose which weapon we're good at. It also helps enhance our bow checks if we decide to master the bow. So we've got that going for. Animal control, communicate with animals and determine their purposes, and also enables us to fight better on horseback. Invisibility, ability to blend with our surrounding, mask our body heat and scent, and adapt the dialect and mannerism of any town. Hunt mastery, we've got the ability to never starve in the wild, even in the desert. Also enables us to ignore ambushes. We've got Psy Surge, which unfortunately, it's still not that great. We got 4 extra points to our combat skill if we use it, but every round we use it, -2 endurance point. Psy Screen, we got it. Nexus, the ability to move item by the power of our mind, and the ability to ignore loss of endurance from extremes of heat and cold. So far, yep, I have one suggestion for Nexus, so alright, why not? Let's go and pick it. Gotta go for the people who have chosen stuff. And with that said and done, yep, we're only missing Psy Surge in order to complete the Spirit Lore Circle, which will give us the biggest bonus available in all of the lore circles. And yeah, Spirit Lore Circle also kind of has a cool ring to it, so we've got that going for. I mean, they're hard. There are people, like, for instance, who try to do runs with ass stats, like, for instance, with 10 points of combat skill and 20 endurance points. Spoiler that this doesn't end well. So, yep, with that said, we are all said and done into that thing. But we're not done with the stream yet, because we gotta roll this thing. Alright. So we got 2 spins. Let's check out what we got with each of them. First of all, let's mute the music, because we gotta be ready to shave. What the fuck? Oh no, I might not be laughing anymore. No!
Such a boomer game! Oh my god!
Yeah, looks like we're playing Quiplash on the next stream. Oh boy. Alright, and spin number 2. Oh, sadly, too bad. Oh yeah, that was it for her spins, and that's going to be it for her stream as well.